So today we are going to configure voice over IP. So basically I'll use three IP phones, three PCs, a router and a switch. So let's go ahead and make a connections. Make sure you, when you are connecting from a switch to a IP phone, connect this to a switch again, and again to a switch. And here you have to connect PC port to a fast Ethernet port. Same goes to the rest of it. Okay, so right now we need to create VLANs. Okay, here are VLANs 10, 20 and 30. VLAN 10 will be for data, 20 for voice and 99 as management VLAN. VLAN 10, give it a name, data, VLAN 20, voice, and VLAN 99. Okay, management, exit. Make sure you give the management VLAN an IP address just to manage, if you want to manage from outside the network or from any other PC. 99 dot that can be any address, any IP address. If it can be 10, 11, 12, whatever, 1, 2, 3, 4, and make sure make sure to put in the default gateway as well of the management VLAN. Okay, that's about it. This is the default gateway. Okay, so right now we need to okay, make sure this and before that we have to enable those interfaces by FA0/1. okay, FA0/1. That port would be a switch port mode trunk. Okay, and switch port trunk native VLAN 99, and give it no shut, exit. And make sure you make these ports as access ports, and before that you need to go to the phone and make sure the phone is connected to the, because it's not powered on by default, we need to go and power it up by this cable. Okay, and make sure the PCs you set it to DHCP, not static, because we'll be configuring a DHCP pool on the router. Okay, so now we go over here and configure our access ports. Interface range FA0/2, I guess 2. Okay, 2 to 4 to 4. Switch port mode access, and switch port access VLAN 10 for data. Okay, and make sure you put switch port voice, because it's a voice as well, VLAN, and the voice VLAN is 20. Okay, no shut. Okay, so we only put this command when we are configuring IP phones. Otherwise, if there were no IP phones, only only configure these two commands. So that's about it over here. So right now we have to the configuration is okay. The rest of the configuration we have to configure it on the router. So for that we have to enable the interface no shut. Make sure okay interface phase 0/0/10. Now we have to create sub interfaces because we created VLANs. 168.10.1. Make sure you put the correct default gateway for the each VLANs you put. Okay, before that encapsulation dot 1q and 10, and now you have to put the IP address. Okay, VLAN 20 encapsulation dot 1q20 IP address is 20.1 for its default gateway. You don't have to type this thing, the no shut, because it's already active. I make sure it because there's no problem afterwards. Encapsulation dot 1q99 and make sure you type native over here, and the IP address is 99.1. 99.1. Okay, so we have created sub interfaces, right? So now we have to create a DHCP pool. IP DHCP excluded address would be 192.168.1.1.9. Okay, these are the IP excluded addresses. Okay, I made a mistake over there. Okay, not 1.1, and the IP address should be for data would be 10. Because right now we are configuring the DHCP for IP phones, which is their VLAN is 20, so the subnet would be 20 dot whatever and 20.0, or and here the data would be 10 dot, so the IP address for data is 10.0 network, so we excluded that one from 1 to 9, and this is for voice, which would be 20, and these would be excluded. So IP DHCP pool and give it any pool name. I'll say data. Okay, and network would be 192.10.0. Okay, and give it a subnet mask. Okay, and make sure you put IP default router IP address, which would be the 10.1. Sorry, 10.1. Okay, now we have configured. I'll keep it basic because I won't configure DNS server because there is no DNS server there. If there would be a DNS server, so you have to configure a DNS server for that. That's about it for our data DHCP port. Now we have to configure voice IP. Okay, network is 20.0 and the default router would be 20.1. And right now we have to configure another option, which would be this one, option for voice VLAN. An option would be 50. IP address would be voice VLAN default gateway 20.1, and that's about it. Exit. Now that we have configured our VLANs over here on the switch and sub interfaces in the DHCP pool, so let's go over here and check out. Okay, if I'm not lying there, okay, he is getting an IP address from the router DHCP server, and here's as well. And what about the IP phones? Okay, they have also got the IP address. So right now this IP phone I'm going to give an, so this phone will be having a phone number of 101 and this phone 102, and this phone will have a phone number of 103. So right now we have to configure it on the router. So to activate this we have to type telephone service. Okay, telephone service, and right now we have to give it a maximum directory number, how many, okay, how many in the memory it will hold the directory numbers and all. Right now there are 3 phones, so I'll give only 3, and maximum ePhones, maximum ePhones would be 3 because there are 3 over here. And the other option I have to configure the IP source address would be 192.168.20.1 voice IP address, and we have to type in the port which is starting from 2000 to 9999. So we'll give it as 2000, which is the starting. Okay, and we type exit. Okay, so we have created our telephony service. Now we have to create ePhones. Okay, ePhones. Okay, ePhones directory number 1. Okay, that has been created right now, and the number would be 101 for directory number 1. Exit. Now phone directory number 2, and the number would be 102, and phone directory phone number 3 would be having a phone number of 103. Exit. Now we need to create ePhones. HONE. ePhone 1 would have a so here you have to type what type of phone it is. Basically right now we don't have to type in the type what type it is. By default it is 7960, which is Cisco's IP phone, but in the real environment we have to type in because the router wouldn't know what type of phone it is unless you type it. here in packet tracer it automatically uh, because it automatically configures as a default Cisco phone because it is a Cisco phone, but in real environment it's not like that. You need to put in the type, the MAC address as well, but right now I'll skip it because packet tracer will figure it out what's the MAC address. And the other thing, you need to type in the button. So you need to the which button is configured for what phone exactly it is. So the button 1, and it is for line 1. Okay, enter. Select the phone MAC address. So okay, it's asking us to type in button 1 to 1. Okay, before it didn't take it, it was asking for the MAC address. So what I did is basically powered this off by going in the physical interface, removing the cable on all 3 phones and powered them back on. And I also tried to restart the routers and the switch. So right now it's taking it because now this is being registered right now. As you can see, registered, this should come up. That means you have configured it correctly. So what you need to do is go in earphone 2, type it would be the same, and in the real environment I told you before, you have to type in the MAC address. So the MAC address of the other phone is this one, so you need to exactly type in this thing over here. Right now packet tracer will do the job for us. Okay, button would be 1.2 because 1.1 is already used by the other phone, so 1.2 would be the correct one. And exit. In a moment we'll get a registration. Okay, it's being registered. And the last one would be 3. Button would be 1.3, and type would be, don't have to type in the type because packet tracer will do the same thing for us. Now the registration should come up in a second. Okay, so what you can do is show earphones. Okay, I typed that command before, and let's see if I can. Not showing up. Okay, before setting up the earphone 1, 2 and 3, the line would be down. Here it will be down. Now it's in idle mode. That means it is waiting for us to call. Okay, and the other thing is that the MAC address is where is the MAC address? IP phone, this is having this address. Okay, the type is 7960, and you might not able to see MAC address where you can see it and show run. Okay, see the MAC address is already configured over here. Before it was not there, now it is over here. All we have to do is go over in the graphical user interface mode and type in the dialing number. It will say ring out. That means the call is going. Other way you can do is put this phone over here, put this phone over here. Okay, and dial in this number, which would be, I don't know. Okay, here is 103. Okay, the phones are a bit in a reversed mode because they have. Okay, now the phone is ringing. As you can see, the and this phone number is 103. So okay, the phone is ringing. Okay, I hope the practical, I hope I showed you the correct way and you have got all the step how to configure the IP phones. Okay, I'm arranging them properly. It's a 101. Okay, here are the phone numbers for each of the IP phones, and if we go over here and type in 103, it will say ring out. Okay, that means the ring is going. Yeah, check out. Okay. Okay, I hope you got the how to configure the IP phones. Basically you need to configure the VLANs on the switch, the DHCP pool if you want to configure the DHCP pool, but in the IP phones you need to configure the DHCP pool because it's better to configure DHCP pool. There would be in an enterprise environment, as there are always servers and they assign DHCP IP addresses. Most of the configuration is on the router, and all the router configuration is displayed over here. Okay, so that's about it. And I'll put a link in the description where you can download this lab. And I don't think so I have to put more commands in here. You can check in the running config, you can type show run and you can basically check whatever commands are there. Okay, thanks for watching and have a nice day.